Now, the U.S. has spent $200 million on the current Egyptian elections. And now the radical anti-American Islamists are in the lead there. Will there ever be a true democracy in Northern Africa or the Middle East? It's a question we've often asked on this program, and we're going to ask it again now to Zuhdi Jasser. He's with us from Phoenix. All right, Doctor, hold on a second. I've got some breaking news for you for a second. A senior Obama administration official has just told the AP that the United States is sending its top envoy to Syria, back to Damascus, after recalling him October the 22nd. Okay, so the American ambassador is going back to Syria. Okay, put that on one side for a second. We've spent all this money on the Egyptian election. The Islamists are clearly in the lead. The Salafi party, extreme Islam, got 24% of the vote so far. I ask the question, do you think that we will ever see a democracy, what looks to us like a democracy, appear in North Africa or the Middle East?
Well, that's a great question, Stuart, and one everybody should be asking. If you're talking about democracy like we see it, certainly not in the next year or two. Unfortunately, this administration, which has not developed anything in the shape of an Obama doctrine, basically has defined democracy as elections, and certainly that's not what democracy is. That becomes mobocracy without the right principles of freedom and liberty. Ultimately, in 1 or 2 years, absolutely not. 10, 15 years, or even 5 to 10 years, absolutely, that can start evolving. So the question is, by not doing anything, by not helping them at all, we are going to separate ourselves from it. We're going to allow Turkey and other countries to play much more of a role, and we're going to continue to see the threat is more now than it's ever been to our homeland and globally. So therefore, we can't sit back. The money's going to cost us no matter what we do. And isolationism, or even just letting the Islamists ascend the way Obama has done, is going to cost us a lot more. We need a doctrine of liberty, and there is no Obama doctrine right now. And as you just mentioned, in Syria, they send they are sending so many mixed messages, Stuart.
Okay,
it's just crazy.
How could we spend $200 million on an election and then see the winners turn out to be people who want to kill us? That's a very tough sell to American voters, isn't it?
Well, exactly, and that's because you have the wrong administration with no policies, spending it on everything. They're not taking sides. They're just dumping money into an entire society that has good and bad people within it, that has ideologies that are going to, by a Darwinian process, evolve. And unless we have a leader, a president that can take sides and say, you know what? In Tunisia, for example, Ennahda won 80% of the seats. Why? Because the secularists were all, and the liberal Muslims were all divided among 80 parties, while the Ennahda remained unified, so they won most of the vote. As you evolve, as we want to go from point A to point B, which is liberal democracy, that transformation is going to take some time. Okay, but we have to start on the ground.
But is there that time? You say real democracy, something that would look to us like a democracy, is going to take, what, 10 or 15 years? But do you think there'll ever be another vote in these societies which elect in Islamists? Won't it be just like Iran? The Islamists win, boom, that's it. That's the last election you ever see.
Well, that's why we need to be on the ground. We need to be on having not only media but government agencies on the ground there, starting to report, build institutions, work with the right parties so that Muslim voices and non-Muslims and others have a diverse voice, so that it's not just the Brotherhood that speaks out, and it's not just Arab media but Western media and our new evolving type of not only Facebook, social media. We've had no presence there, Stuart. We've given the presence over to the Islamists that were the most organized, and there are so many other parties they're just starving for help, but we're just throwing money at the Darwinian evolving power structures that are there and not helping those that share our values. And in Syria, we see Iran funneling in millions and weapons, etc., and our ambassadors going back there to do what? We just had bodies piled up in Homs that were just discovered today, and yet we think somehow an ambassador is going to go over there and do something, when in fact we're not showing strength to power, but rather we're just being meek and appeasing the powers that have come out of 50 years of despotism.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, you appear frequently in this program, and you're welcome to appear again. We love having you. Thank you very much, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.